Namaste, my fellow strikers. Holy Materia here, back with another Shinobi Striker video. Today, we're going to be talking about how to play mid-range, so let's get right into it. So there are three basic ways to play range. You can play like long distance range, mid-range, or close-up. Beginning players tend to play at a distance or like snipers. It's a good strategy because it's the safest way to play range. So basically you can be as far away as you can, as long as you can target, then you can play from that distance. So it's the safest way, but the downside is that it has the least damage potential. With the close-up, you have a lot more damage, but it's by far the riskiest way to play. It's the least safe because you don't want people to be very close to you when you're playing range. The style I prefer is to play at a mid-range distance. So it has good damage potential and it's relatively safe. Personally, I think it's the best way to play range. But if you'd like to see how to play range at a close distance, then you should check out Hidden Rose's channel because he plays range and he mostly does like close range combos with the light attack button. So long range is as far back as you can target your opponent. So as soon as you can target your opponent, that's the long range distance. Mid range is if you can hit your opponent with your heavy attack, like the kunai that you throw, because they don't go all that far. And then close range is if you can hit your opponent with your light attack. So that means you have to be like right up on them, but also they are right up on you. So what I like to do is to keep my opponents at the distance where I can hit them with my heavy attack, but they can't hit me with their heavy attack or their light attack. Personally, I think that's the most ideal spacing you can have as a range type. You can hit with your normal attacks like with the heavy attack button, and you can also hit them with your jutsu. With this mid-range build, the most important thing is to have Senbun as your ninja tool. There are other ninja tools that can work well with range types, but I think the Senbun are the best to play with this mid-range style because a lot of what you do, like the jutsu are important, but you can pretty much use whatever jutsu you like. But your main damage is going to come from doing combos with your kunai, with your triangle button, and also your Senbun. So like I showed in the original range video, like the kunai spam, you can just do a combo with various cancels. You always want to be in the air when you start it. So you can jump and then push triangle and then cancel it with like a dash and push triangle again and cancel it with a double jump and push triangle again. You can also cancel it with your Senbun. So each of the Senbun will provide you a cancel. So that's 3 more ways to spam. Or you can start with the Senbun and then do the other things. And by the time you're done with the other ones, at least one of your Senbun might be back. So you can make the kunai spam last even longer. But there's not very many situations where you'll be able to spam the kunai that long effectively because you'll probably knock them down already, especially with the Senbun in there. But so then once you knock them down, then you can hit them with your ninjutsu. But good players are not going to fall for the kunai spam. Good players won't get hit by like a single triangle button. Though you can hit them with the Senbun, but the triangle button won't really be that effective against advanced players. So what you need to do is to mix it up, and that's where the weapon comes in. So I use the Kusanagi sword because it has such a good charge attack and hit stun. So instead of just throwing out the kunai randomly at all times, first what you want to do is charge at your opponent and then hit them with the charge attack and they'll be stunned, and then you can back up and then start throwing the kunai, and that will be a combo. Like because the hit stun is so long, you can hit them and back up and then start throwing your kunai and Senbun before they can recover. So that's the best way to start your kunai spam especially against better players who are good at dodging the normal kunai with the heavy attack. And because the Senbun are so crucial, for my top I use the one that makes your ninja tool stronger, and then for the bottom I use the one that gives you your ninjutsu back faster. That's just always one of my favorite bottoms, especially for range types. And then for the accessory, the one that gives you health every time you get a KO. But be careful because you only get the KO when you finish somebody, so you don't get health back if you just assist. So like just because the KO comes up on your screen, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get health back. You have to get the finishing blow on somebody to get that health. My favorite build right now for range and combat is Majestic Destroyer Flame and Flame Control. Flame Control is also a mid-range jutsu. Like it doesn't have very good range, so you have to be at a certain distance to be able to hit your opponent with it. But it has really great tracking when you're within range. They're both good moves, but they're easy to avoid when you're playing against higher level players. So you have to pick and choose like how and when you use these moves. So with Majestic Destroyer Flame, the startup takes so long that a good player is either going to be able to dodge it easily, or they're going to punish you during the startup time. So like if you're low health and you try to use it on a good player, then they'll probably kill you before you can even get it off. And then advanced players also know how to get away from the flame control by backflipping or being able to like escape it by just outrunning it basically. There's two good times to use these moves. One of them is when you catch somebody off guard, whether you get them from a distance with Majestic Destroyer Flame and they don't notice it, or you catch somebody when they're busy with somebody else with the Majestic or with the flame control. Like if they're attacking one of your teammates, you can get them with it. Or if they're like doing something on some kind of objective, like trying to get the scroll, or in the other game modes, if they're trying to take a base or capture a flag or something. But the other time is to knock down your opponent and then jump right over them and use the move while they're getting up, because it's impossible to dodge Majestic Destroyer Flame or Flame Control while you're getting up if you time it right, because Majestic is just too big for them to even get away from it, and Flame Control just has too good at tracking if you do it at the right distance while the person is getting up. Another good thing about these moves is that they're both unblockable, or they punish blockers. So the Majestic Destroyer Flame breaks guard, and the Flame Control will still catch people on fire even if they're blocking. And then my favorite secret technique is the Totsuka Blade, because you can basically get a guaranteed hit on it if you do it the right way. And this also needs to be paired with the Kusanagi sword. So you can do a charge attack and then you get that hit stun, and that animation when they're stunned lasts long enough for you to get right up on them and then pop your Totsuka Blade, and that initial hit will finish off most people besides the defense types. So it's really good for taking out a single opponent, like for sure taking out a single opponent. So you want to usually go for the healer when you do it. The only downside is it's not that great on the cloud map, because people aren't really on the ground that often. So I usually will change out my ult when I'm on the cloud map if I can, and use either Double Shotgun Kakashi's ult or Adult Sasuke's ult. But also, so the Totsuka Blade is good at targeting a single opponent, but you can also use it to get more than one person. So you can do the charge attack and stun them with the one person, but before you pop it, change your target, and then so you'll kill the person that's close to you just because they're within range of the initial attack, and then the flame from the sword will go at whoever you target after that. So you can get multiple people with it. So yeah, it's a really good ult if you use it right. It used to be my favorite by far, because it also had a 2 for duration, so it didn't take all that long to charge. But now they nerfed it so that it's a 1, like a lot of the other really good ults. So yeah, that's what my basic range build looks like for combat. You can switch up the ninjutsu, like using fireball jutsu or something instead of Majestic Destroyer Flame, or whatever you prefer really. So the basic sequence will be, you'll charge at your opponent with your charge attack, hit him, and then get that hit stun, back up, throw some kunai at them, or intermix your kunai and Sinbun, and then they'll get knocked down, and then you can use whichever jutsu you have available, and then do the same thing again, and then knock them down again, and then use your other jutsu, and then rinse and repeat. So that's basically my play style. But you want to keep your opponent at a distance where you're almost at the max range of your heavy attack when you throw your kunai. And then so that gives you the best advantage, because you still have lots of damage potential, and you also are relatively safe because most people can't get at you. But also be careful about wasting your Sinbun, because you can use those defensively too when somebody charges at you. Like, so if an attack type or a defense type tries to charge at you, your Sinbun, your heavy attack will not stop their charge attack, but your Sinbun will. And your Sinbun can also cancel out most other ninja tools, like even the ones that seem like they're stronger. The Sinbun can cancel those out, like blast bombs and like even the scientific ninja tools and stuff like that. So you want to manage your Sinbun. Don't just waste all of them. I see a lot of people that just throw all their ninja tools out right away, and that's not really a good strategy, because there are so many uses for those offensively and defensively, and you can incorporate it into your kunai spam. So yeah, that's pretty much all for my main range build for combat. I'm planning on doing one of these for range types for each game mode, and then also for healers for each of the main game modes. So I appreciate all the support, everybody. Don't forget to Shinobi strike that like button. I'll see you guys in the next one. Everybody stay safe out there. Peace and love.